If you're watching this, it's probably because you're rolling a Templar and you want to get to maps as quickly as possible. I'm here to show you the fastest way I found of getting to the first Ascendancy, and then we'll go into detail about what each Ascendancy has to offer. This guide will be very fast paced and so may not be suitable for complete beginners. If you're in this category, you may want to watch some of my other beginner friendly guides first, links in the description. During this guide I'll be using the boot's 7 league steps. These will allow me to run fast without giving the character any other bonuses because they just grant 50% movement speed. These do have a 4 link which I will avoid using until I drop my first in Act 3. To give you a true representation of this character in a league start scenario, I will use no other leveling gear unless I drop it. As a Templar, we start with Glacial Hammer and Elemental Proliferation. It should be fairly easy and safe to kill our first boss Hillock because we can get several really nice freezes on him, and while he's frozen he can't attack us back. Now he's down into town. We want to try and get 2 pieces of gear as 3 links, one blue-blue-green and the other blue-blue-red. If you're lucky enough, you may be able to get both of these as 1s from Nessa. We're going to pick up Frostbolt from Targly for completing the Enemy at the Gate quest. We will pair this with Elemental Proliferation for now. Out on the coast now, and we're going to try and avoid killing anything unless it's in a big enough pack to cause us trouble. After grabbing the waypoint, into the mudflats and head to the 3 rowers' nest to loot them. The rowers aren't going to like this very much, and we're going to have to pick them off from a distance and kite them until dead. We used to just run in and loot the nest, but since they buffed at 1, this is now pretty much suicide, and we must kill most of them before looting. If you get stuck looking for the nests, remember they form a triangle with streams running between them. Once you have the content of the 3 nests, head to the right hand side of the arena, touch the wall and head into the submerged passage. As soon as you get in here, we're going to take the waypoint back to the coast. Now enter the Tidal Islands and head down the left hand side until we reach Hillrake. Kill him, grab the medicine chest and log. Once back in town, grab Holy Flame Totem and Frostblink from Targly for the Breaking Some Eggs quest. Then over to Nessa for a Quicksilver Flask and Onslaught for the medicine chest quest. Now buy Flame Wall from Nessa and swap this out for Frostbolt, with Flame Wall making our first 3 link of Flame Wall, Elemental Prolif and Onslaught. Head back to the submerged passage now and head upwards to the bridge. This is normally to the right hand side of the arena. Drop a ball on the bridge, then head to the exit onto the ledge. Run across the ledge right to the end to the climb. Remember to avoid killing anything that is not blue or big enough to kill you. Once in the climb, head right and grab the waypoint. If there's a large open area below the waypoint, head that way. Otherwise, it's upwards and right. Look for the green archer on the cliff and blink past him. Don't stop running till you reach the prison and take the waypoint back to town. Head for the portal back to the submerged passage and head downwards into the flooded depths. In the unlikely event it isn't down, go up. In here, we're looking for a large area surrounded by water with bubbles in the water. Once you find it, you'll find the Dweller of the Deep and kill it. For early game combat, we will place our totem and our flame wall on the enemy, rinse and repeat until dead. Speaking of which, once he takes his terminal breath, log out. Back in town now, head over to Targly for the skill book for killing the Dweller. Head to Nessa and grab Combustion for the quest reward, and then buy an additional one as well as added fire support. We will equip these as soon as we reach level 8. By this point, your tree should look like this. You could go live for mana regen instead of damage, but this will lead to slower runtime. Once you're done, port back to the prison and find the entrance to the upper prison. There is a trial in this area. Work your way to the warden's chamber and destroy Brutus. This should be a really safe fight because he will go mostly for your totem and not you. Once he's down, log out to town. If you've dropped an iron ring, alteration and a transmute by now, we'll be rolling added fire to our wand. I'll link a video that shows you how to do this in the description, check it out. Time to do a little rework to our gems now. Flame Wall, Onslaught and Combustion in one 3 link, and Holy Flame Totem, added fire and Combustion in the other. Get Flame Dash for the reward from Targly and buy Clarity and Vitality from Nessa. If you can't afford both, leave Vitality. We'll be equipping these as soon as we get to level 10. Next, head through Prisoner's Gate to the ship graveyard, find the overturned boat and enter the cave beneath it. Seek and acquire the item at the quest marker and exit. Move to the wall that is furthest from the entrance to this area and you'll find the Cavern of Wrath. Enter the cavern and take the waypoint back to the ship graveyard. Kill Fairgraves. Whoa, didn't expect that. What are the chances of getting a gold rim in Act 1? This will definitely help for the cold resist from a veil. At this point your tree should look something like this. Log to town now and pick up Absolution as the quest reward from Nessa and grab the skill book from Bestel for killing Fairgraves. Replace Frostblink with Flame Dash. We're going to link this to the Arcane Surge gem we're just about to buy from Nessa. Don't level this gem. Also equip Clarity and level until it feels comfortable, and Vitality as well. Back to the Cavern of Wrath and head to the Cavern of Anger. On our way to Mavale, try and avoid the explosive red things, they will kill you. Once you reach Mavale, you'll probably still be level 11, and so this fight will be the usual totem and wall combo. Once you get her down, exit at the door at the back of the arena into the jungle, and then we run through to Act 2. Once in Act 2 town, sell any junk you have to Groost and head out the right hand door into the old fields. Follow the path till you reach the exit to the crossroads. If you don't have your second Quicksilver, then drop a portal at the door, or near the den entrance if you happen to pass that on the way. Once in the crossroads, head to the waypoint. If you don't have the Quicksilver, then port to town, follow the portal to the den and kill the big white bear thing at the end. Log and get your flask from Yena. While in town, if you reach 12, equip Absolution and go back to Act 1 to get added lightning and minion damage, making our third 3-link. Take the waypoint back to the crossroads and head straight up until you reach the Chamber of Sin. Once inside, head to the centre of the chamber and follow the direction of the waypoint to the stairs into level 2. There is a Trial of Ascendancy in here. Find a narrow offshoot and follow it to the end. Here we will seek and destroy Fidelitas. Fighting is like normal, totem and flame wall, but this time sprinkle in a bit of Absolution. Once he's down, grab the baleful gem from the crafting bench and log. By this point our tree should look something like this. Log back into town and grab any reward from Groost. Mana is a little too tight to use another aura right now. Head to the left into the riverways. Follow the path from right to left and grab the waypoint when you pass it. Flame Dash should traverse all of the broken bridges with ease. There are some new mobs in here, they look like trees. Horrible little blighters, shoot toxic rain at you. Very rippy. Keep moving to avoid, eventually you'll find the door to the Western Forest. Follow the path right down to the bottom of the map, grabbing the waypoint and noting the side of the path it's on. At the bottom of the map, kill Captain Atiri, grab the thematic emblem and place it into the thematic seal. Bestel in Act 1 will give you a skill book for this, we can collect it when we're back to town. Head up the wall in this area to the opposite side of the path to the waypoint until you find the Weaver's chamber. Go in, find the arena and kill the Weaver. When she's down, grab the stick-like thing and log out. It's now time to kill Creighton on the Broken Bridge and Oak in the Wetlands. We're going to help Alira for the resistances, crit multi and mana. I recommend this for almost all league starts. Once you get to the end game you can roll it off for something else if you wish. Go back to the waypoint in the Wetlands and enter the cave. The remainder of Act 2 from here is linear, just keep going as we have been until you reach the Val Overseer and defeat it. Once he's down, log out. Then log back in, port to the beginning of Act 3. This is actually quicker than waiting for the Overseer's doors to open. In Act 3 now, and once you've killed the guard captain, torched Clarissa, run around the edge of town to the slums, and made Piety run away in the crematorium, we're going to get the quest reward of Zealotry from Maramoa. We're going to take off Vitality so we have enough reservation to fit this. Now then, until we get a 4-link, we're not going to change anything. When you do get a red, blue, 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 our 4-link will be Absolution, Fist to Lightning, Minion Damage, and Control Destruction. If you do intend to play Spell Echo beyond Act 4, then when you kill Malachi at the end of Act 4, for his quest get Spell Echo and switch that out for Control Destruction. At this point you can also drop the Flame Wall links. I actually didn't get my 4-link until I got my Spell Echo gem, and I had no issue killing Malachi or running the lab. If you've watched this kind of video on my channel before, you'll know that I like to get my Labyrinth after Crystal Veins Waypoint. I did run Absolution all the way to Maps on a 4-link. It is extremely strong for leveling. Nothing needs to change now until you're ready to switch out to your own skill or continue running this one all the way to Maps. And now that the hard bit's out of the way, let's talk a little bit about our Ascendancy choices. First up we have the Inquisitor. This one has an awful lot of defences through enhanced Consecrated Ground. Sanctuary gives us 15% increased damage taken to enemies on our consecrated ground, and we have consecrated ground around us while stationary. Furthermore, with Pious Path, consecrated ground you create causes life regeneration to also recover energy shield for you and allies. 50% increased effects of consecrated ground you create, and effects of consecrated ground you create linger for 4 seconds. Meaning you can activate consecrated ground, leave it, and you'll still get the life regen off it. As well as defences, we also have a really strong set of critical strike based offences. Righteous Providence gives us 1% increased critical strike chance per point of strength or intelligence, whichever is lower, and we gain a flat 50 to strength and intelligence. Inevitable Judgment gives us critical strikes ignore enemy monster elemental resistances, and non-critical strike penetrates 10% of enemy elemental resistances. This means if we're critting all the time, their resistances don't matter. Really strong node. We also have Augury of Penitence, nearby enemies take 16% increased elemental damage, and we take 8% less elemental damage. There's also Instruments of Virtue and Instruments of Zeal. Virtue gives us 10% more attack damage for each non-instant spell you've cast in the past 8 seconds up to a maximum of 30, and also gives us Battle Mage. Instruments of Zeal give us a new charge called Fanatic Charges. Once we reach the maximum of 4, we'll gain Fanaticism for 4 seconds. This gives us spells we cast yourself has 75% more cast speed, 75% reduced cost, and 75% increased area of effect. But these are activated with an attack. So for both Instruments of Virtue and Instruments of Zeal, we need to use both attacks and spells to get the most benefit, which is an odd combination. Next up we have the Hierophant, the master of both totems and brands. We also have some nice defences in the form of loads of extra mana when using Mind Over Matter. Arcane Blessing gives us 15% increased effective Arcane Surge on you, and gain Arcane Surge when you or your totems hit an enemy, so Arcane Surge will be up all of the time. In addition to that, Illuminated Devotion gives us non-damaging ailments have 50% reduced effect on you while you have Arcane Surge, 30% increased area of effect while you have Arcane Surge, and 0.5% of spell damage leases life while you have Arcane Surge. Next, the totems. Pursuit of Faith gives us 100% increased totem duration, plus 1 to our maximum summon totems, and 100% increased totem placement speed. Ritual of Awakening gives us 5% more damage per summon totem, regenerate 0.5% of mana per second for each summon totem, and you and your totems regenerate 1% of life per second for each summon totem. Sign of Purpose gives brands 100% more activation frequency if 75% of attached duration has expired. That means they do double damage in the last 25% of their run. Brand Recall has 100% increased cooldown recovery rate. Absolutely amazing for getting massive boss damage on Armageddon Brand. Conviction of Power gives us plus 1 to maximum power charges and maximum endurance charges, and has those charges up all of the time at max. Divine Guidance gives us 30% increased maximum mana, and 10% of damage is taken from mana before life. And Transconfiguration of Mind basically gives us increases and reduction to maximum mana also applied to damage at 30% of their value. Moving on now to Sanctuary of Thought, we gain 20% of maximum mana as extra maximum energy shield, 25% increased mana reservation efficiency of skills, plus 1% increased area of effect per 50 unreserved maximum mana up to 100%, and 50% less mana cost of skills. This is a well-rounded Ascendancy and very good for both brands and totems. And last but not least, we have the Guardian. The Guardian is one of the best support Ascendancies in the game. It's great for both auras and defences, and even running minion builds. Radiant Crusader gives us 20% to all elemental resistances, and whilst there are at least 5 nearby enemies, you and nearby enemies have Onslaught. And while there is at least 1 nearby ally, you and nearby allies gain 10% more damage. This is great for minion damage. And next on this chain is Unwavering Crusade. Nearby allies have 20% increased attack, cast and movement speed, which is basically Onslaught again, and nearby allies have 30% increased area of effect. Nearby allies intimidate enemies for 4 seconds on hit, and nearby allies unnerve enemies for 4 seconds on hit. And if you want a block character, Bastion of Hope is for you, 50% chance to block attack damage for 2 seconds every 5 seconds. If you've blocked in the past 10 seconds, you and nearby allies cannot be stunned. If you've attacked recently, you and nearby allies have 10% chance to block attack damage, and if you've cast a spell recently, you and nearby allies have 10% chance to block spell damage. This isn't as great as it sounds though, because you're only getting that plus 50% to block attack damage 40% of the time, meaning 60% of the time you're completely open to be battered. If you're building a build that doesn't like curses, then Time of Need is for you. 80% reduced effect of curses on you. Every 4 seconds regenerate 30% of life over 1 second. That's quite a lot of life regen. Next, we have Radiant Faith. Grants armor equal to 160% of your reserve life to you and nearby allies. Grants maximum energy shield equal to 10% of your reserve mana to you and nearby allies. And then we have Unwavering Faith. Auras from your skills grant plus 1% to physical damage reduction for you and allies. Auras from your skills grant 0.2% of life regeneration per second to you and your allies. The more auras you have, the bigger this buff. And last but not least, Harmony of Purpose. Nearby enemies cannot gain power, frenzy or endurance charges. You and nearby party members share power, frenzy and endurance charges, and 20% chance to gain a power, frenzy or endurance charge on hit. So if you need power, frenzy and endurance charges, this could be the Ascendancy for you. This guide has shown you the best way to level a Templar generically. However, knowing what skills to pick is not the end of the story. I have a guide packed full of tips for helping you get to the end game as quickly as possible. You'll find this top left, and it is absolutely perfect for helping you hone your skills at leveling fast. And top right, we have a video that YouTube thinks is perfect for you, is it right? What do you plan to build with your Templar? Let me know in the comments below. And with that, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you next time.